Um, now I have a Raspberry Pi Pico controller connected to a W5500 Ethernet module here. And under Windows subsystem for Linux, which I've installed on this PC, I've cloned the Raspberry Pi Pico software developing kit and wrote a couple C programs and compiling with CMake. So I'm just going to show you what the source code looks like for this project. That's on main C, and this is a project basically. It's several lines. I'm not gonna lie, I use some assistance from Gemini for this, mainly with libraries and how to use them. But I have to like debug some of the code because I wasn't getting the right values, and had to fix some bugs and the compilation, like some missing libraries I had to include. Anyway, so this program here, basically, once it's compiled, produces a file that you need to transfer to the Pico Pi. So the first thing you need to do is to, I'm just going to put my phone here and press the boot button on the Pico Pi, and then insert your USB port into your laptop, and then the Raspberry Pi 2 will come up as a drive. So in the build directory of this project in Linux for subsystem for Linux in Windows, if you navigate to the root folder and into the Pico and the project folder, which is Pico _W5500 _V2, that's version 2. So I have the different versions here. This is the one. And under build, there is that file, which is the UF2 file here. So all you need to do is drag and copy that into the Pi here. So you grab that and drop it into your Raspberry Pi. And after that, it will disappear, and it will now show up as a serial port, right? So now this is serial port 7. So this system will, so the way I wrote the program was to basically be able to communicate through two different methods, through the UART and the Ethernet. So if you want to set the IP address and port number for this, you need to use your PuTTY. So PuTTY is a communication little open source, or not open source, but free downloadable program. Which port it is? It's 7. Okay, so port 7. So I'm gonna load it and point it to port 7, and I'm actually gonna save that. All right, open it up, and the baud rate, it's at 115,200 baud. And now if you type R, it should reply with the values on the 3 analog to digital converters, which it has 3 of those. So if you type R on your computer, it will reply. It will blink the LED. Let me see if I can show it here in a simple shot. You can see that the LED came on, and it replied with the messages. Now, you can set the you can type in capital IP equal, let's say 192.168.1.5 colon, and that's the port I want to be using, 5000. So that's the IP settings I'm going to set this for, right? So it replied, it wrote the settings to EEPROM. So all you need to do now is to cycle power to it. So it will take those values into account. So you close that, close it. You just remove power to it. And if you were to open PuTTY again, but now use raw and type in the IP address, you just enter 168.1.5 and then port 5000. And at the same time, when I open another PuTTY, which is going to be the serial port, just going to close that. So I want to open the serial. Open it. So that's still replying. I mean, if I type R, it reports the values of the analog channels. But I can also open it through TCP IP. So I want to open that. Okay, that faulted out. Listening to port. Okay, so I guess maybe there's some disturbance here. I'm not sure. Close that and reopen PuTTY. Again, see my generic. Oops, that's wrong program down here. Okay, raw 192.168.1.5 and port is 5000. Okay, maybe I'm missing something, but anyhow, let me open up Visual Studio. So in Visual Studio, I have let me see, where's my continue without code? It's just easier to do it that way. It wants me to postpone it. It wants me to open some files, open solution, repos. That's not where I want my programs to be at. That's on data, that's on C#. Visual Studio, where are you? There it is. Modify. So this is it. Okay, so let me open on the file. Open project solution. Let's see, properties. Open file. And then binary. Let me open this one here. Okay. So this is a Windows form that connects to the port, and it inside the debug build folder, there's this XML, which is the configuration, which I set to the same port and IP address that I type into the configuration PuTTY session on serial port. Now, if I were to run this, it's gonna show that and connect to it. Hopefully. Oh, there is something wrong with it. Maybe I need to reboot it again. Oh, there it is. I don't know. I need to look into that. Occasionally it does that. Anyhow, so this is configurable. I can configure the C# using the XML file. I could also put it on the Windows form, but it tells you what the settings are, and you can see that it's um, connected through Ethernet, and it's uh, showing the values of the analog. So if I were to touch those pins, it will shoot out because I'm inducing some voltages due to my potential versus ground, right? So you can see the channels oscillate its values. So it is a Raspberry Pi Pico that can be configured to a IP and port through serial port, and then save into EEPROM, and a multi-analog, actually just 3 channels versus the Arduino, which has like 6. This one only has 3, but it's a nice use for Raspberry Pi Pico. Hope you like it, and stay tuned for more.